Welcome to New York City, home to over 8 million people where the food possibilities are endless. But can you have a great experience while being vegan? I'm Eunice, and today I'm going to share the vegan versions of some iconic New York foods and the stories behind them. Let's go! First stop is the East Village, where you gotta start the day with a New York bagel and shmia. It's believed that bagels made their way to New York with the migration of Eastern European Jewish immigrants in the late 1800s. In the 1960s, bagel consumption in New York City skyrocketed, and by the 1980s, the size of bagels nearly doubled and the New York bagel, as we know it, was born. I had the opportunity to meet with Chris, the owner of Tompkins Bagels, voted one of the best bagels in the city, and I learned his story and why they offer such a plethora of vegan options.
Tompkins Bagels opened in December of 2011, so we're about to celebrate our 10th birthday. So we do everything a very traditional way at Tompkins Bagels, right down to the ingredients we use. We don't cut corners. Often I choose ingredients that are a little more expensive, sort of rolling the dice that the quality will pay off, and people have responded well to it. Very traditional techniques. We hand roll, we kettle boil, we bake on wood planks, we use barley malt instead of sugar. So all of those things together, I think, make our bagel a little bit better than the average bagel.
Every morning the dough is prepared in-house and blended with a premium barley malt. The dough is then shaped by hand by bagel masters like Celestino to give each bagel its traditional touch. Racks of bagels are then boiled in a kettle, cooled on wooden planks, seasoned, and then baked to perfection in a very high-heat rotating oven. So why are there so many vegan options including cream cheese?
From day one, I wanted Tompkins Bagels to be for everyone. I wanted it to be inclusive. I was aware that there are people out there with dairy allergies, nut allergies, wheat allergies, and I never wanted anyone to feel uncomfortable about coming into the shop. If you're with a group of people and maybe you're the one person who's vegan or one person who has a dairy allergy, I didn't want you to feel uncomfortable or like, oh my God, what am I going to eat when I get here? So I made it a point to have something for everybody. That was more of an act of like, by nature I'm a people pleaser. I want to make people happy. What I didn't realize was it turned out to be a really good business decision, because people really responded well to it. We get written up all the time in dairy-free blogs, vegan blogs, gluten-free blogs, and that's just because, we made the effort. From day one I've had things like tofu-based spread. We're working on oat-based spreads. We just want to have something for everybody.
Next, it was time to load up the bagel with the many cream cheese options they offer.
Okay, it is now the best part. I'm trying these freshly made, fluffy bagels oozing with cream cheese. Oh my God. So I got two options. I got the spinach artichoke on an everything bagel and a sun-dried tomato with tofu scallion. Let's try this. Oh my God. This is bagel cream cheese heaven. Look at how much this cream cheese is oozing out. So the next one I'm trying is sun-dried tomato mixed with tofu scallion. They prepare their tofu vegan cream cheeses in-house every day. They go through tubs a week. This is high in demand, guys. It is not a New York bagel if you don't have just tons of cream cheese on this bagel. Calories don't count here in New York. I love that there's chunks of sun-dried tomato just mixed into this. Oh my God. And then the chewiness of the bagel is just amazing. And then it has that nice crispy exterior. You can tell they have used traditional methods, and that's why this place has been such a success. Oh my God, this is a must try.
We're in the happiness business, that's our slogan. People are coming here pre-pandemic to start their work day. Maybe they're gonna get crammed into a subway train. Maybe they're gonna go to an office job that they're not so crazy about. So for the moment that they're in here, we wanna make them happy before we send them out into the world. We wanna be that place that they remember.
Next, I had to make a quick stop downtown for a New York-style cheesecake.
Okay, so now it's time to try the New York style cheesecake. Now what makes this cheesecake so iconic and different from a traditional cheesecake is that it's usually larger, fluffier, and creamier. All right, let's try this. That like melts in your mouth. That's how light and fluffy it is. And the strawberry jam is perfect. The crust on the bottom is delicious. This is a dessert you can't pass up.
Times Square is one of the world's most visited tourist attractions. It got its name in 1904 after the New York Times moved its headquarters to the Times building. Today, it's a hub of the Broadway theater district and a center of the world's entertainment industry. The next day, it was time to go to Brooklyn and rush to try one of New York's most iconic eats, because if there's one thing New York City is known for, it's pizza. So I had to go to the one and only Screamer's Pizzeria.
Hi, my name is Joy Strang, and I am the executive chef of Screamer's Pizzeria in Brooklyn. We are an all-vegan pizza spot, only one like us in New York. Screamer's Pizzeria has been around since 2016. It kind of came about because a bunch of vegans were sitting around talking about things that we wish we had. And a good vegan pizza is something that I think every vegan can agree we're lacking a little bit of. So that's kind of how Screamer's Pizzeria came about.
Screamer's Pizza prides themselves in making their dough, sauces, and other in-house items like pesto and seitan. But why are the pizzas so huge in New York anyway?
So I think that pizza is super big in New York because it is not only delicious, but it's also a really good on-the-go food, so you can just pick it up and walk and eat at the same time. So our most popular slices here are going to be the buffalo slice, something that every pizzeria has in New York, a buffalo slice. So you do buffalo cauliflower with our house-made ranch sauce, and then the Screamer, which is a mushroom slice. It's a white base with cremini and oyster mushrooms. Those are definitely our two most popular slices.
Okay, it is now time to try the New York slice. Each of these pizzas is 18 inches in diameter. Look at this thing. Right now I have the pepperoni. They use beehive pepperoni and it looks amazing. This pepperoni looks so legit. Let's give it a try. Oh God. Yes. The dough is super soft on the outside. The crust is nice and crunchy. It's oily, which is what a New York style pizza should be. You need to be able to hold it in half and eat it like this. That's how you eat a New York style pizza. All right, so their second popular slice is the white pizza with mushrooms. So let's give this a try. Super creamy. I can see why this is the spot for vegan pizza in New York. Okay, so I have a few more options, as you can see. I'm gonna try one of their other popular flavors, which is the buffalo. Oh my gosh. I can see why people like this one. For me, it's actually not that spicy, so it's good. If you're sensitive to spice, you'll be able to handle this. It's really good. I love the creaminess. I love the cauliflower. And then last but not least, white pizza with pesto and homemade sausage. I couldn't pass it up. I had to try it too. Oh my God, this is amazing. That pesto is so good, and that sausage is delicious. They got 2 locations. Come to Brooklyn, make sure you try it.
It's not only about just making a solid vegan pizza, it's also about making just a solid pizza in general. It's accessible for vegans and non-vegans. We have non-vegans come in here all the time and tell us that this is their favorite slice, and they come to us like on a daily basis or weekly basis, better than the 1,200 other pizzerias in New York. It always feels good when you have someone that's non-vegan appreciate what you're doing.
Next, I headed to Midtown because in the obscure location of Murray Hill, you will find Sarges Deli, a place where if vegan, you probably wouldn't think twice of going in. But why is this New York classic a place to visit?
Today, I'm here with Andrew, the owner of Sarges.
That's me. How we doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, good.
All right, so Andrew,
Yes.
tell me about Sarges. What makes it iconic to New York City?
So, my great-grandfather, Abe Katz, started Sarges back in November 1964. Not really good at math, but we've been there
a long time.
Yeah.
Most vegans would never dare to enter into a place like this because it just looks meat heavy, but
Yes.
you sell Mrs Goldfarbs Unreal Deli, an all vegan meat deli, so tell me that story.
Yeah, so I was watching Shark Tank, I don't know, probably like 2 years ago when it aired. And I was like, wow, look at Mrs. Goldfarbs, like selling vegan corned beef.
Who is this lady?
What's going on here? Vegan? I'm not really hip to the vegan world.
Yeah.
So I thought it was cool. My mom was calling me. She's like, did you see this lady? I said, yeah, it's interesting. Months go by. I get a phone call here. Who's calling me? Mrs. Goldfarb. Yeah, and she's like, I think, this would be great for Sarges, vegan, plant-based meats. Everyone's all fired up about it.
Right.
And I shoot her away. And then, months go by, she calls again, and I said, let's give it a shot.
Yeah.
So we brought it in, and people are excited about it.
Can I ask, why did you shoot her away the first time? Or were you just like, no, this is just, it's no
There
way.
wasn't really much of a request for, vegan meat. Like you were saying, if you're vegan, you're probably not coming here to eat.
Right.
But times are changing.
Yeah.
It's 2021 now, and I'm even shocked by how much I sell it.
Really?
Yeah.
Would you say mostly vegans come in here, or do non-vegans know that it's on the menu? Like, how aware are people that it's...
We actually do promote it a lot.
Yeah.
We just had St. Patrick's Day, and we sold a bunch of, vegan.
Really?
Yeah, it's still
Oh my
so
God.
crazy. I think if you're not a vegan, that's not what you're coming here for.
Right.
But I definitely get people who are strictly vegan that come here for it, and they love it.
So, have you ever tried it before? What do you think about it?
I actually have not tried it, but since you're here, I will try it with you.
Guys, this is a once in a lifetime.
Exclusive. Sarge's exclusive.
Andrew will try it, Mrs Goldfarbs Deli,
Yes,
for
I will.
the very first time.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
The classic corned beef deli sandwich is served on vegan rye with mustard and a generous pile of Mrs Goldfarbs Unreal Deli.
All right, here it is, Mrs. Goldfarbs Unreal Corned Beef Sandwich.
Are you excited to try this?
Not really, but how bad could it be?
I think you're gonna love it.
I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna be a vegan.
Moment of truth.
This is it. I'm fired up.
Yeah, okay.
I may not look it, but I'm excited.
All right, let's do this. Okay, ready?
This is for you.
Sandwich cheers.
This is for you, Jenny Goldfarb.
That's for you, Jenny.
All right. Yeah, not for me, but I need you to like it. Let's go. Good.
That was good.
Powerful.
The flavor is really good.
A lot going on.
I think because it's layered up so high and it's
too
on
much
the
for me.
bread and the mustard, you have to chew it, otherwise it's too
love
hard
it.
to swallow.
I'm vegan.
You're now converted.
I'm never eating a steak again. No.
I'm supposed to tell all the guys up here.
Yeah.
It's not for you.
Not
but
for me.
in terms of flavor, is it okay? Would you say?
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't eat
doesn't-
meat and I
yeah.
was like, wow, I really miss eating meat and I want a corned beef sandwich, this would 100%
Exactly.
do the trick.
There we go. There you go. Exclusive by Andrew.
Let's do it.
If you're vegan, veg curious, or you miss corned beef, that pastrami
Wow.
style,
Let's go.
New York deli, iconic sandwich, this is where you come to
This is where
shine.
you're coming because I think we're the only ones in New York City
Yeah,
who are doing this.
exactly.
There's so much to see in New York. If you want to see what the city is like, walk the streets, meet the people, and eat the food.